Today we're going to read The Thing About Spring by Daniel Kirk and illustrated by Maria T. Middleton. The world looks a little different today, Mouse said one bright morning. It smells different too, said Bird. There are buds on the trees and new colors in the sky, and I feel warm and happy. Me too, said Mouse. Spring is finally here! Hooray! The snow is starting to melt. You can see the grass and little plants starting to grow again. These are some signs of springtime coming. Mouse and Bird hurried to share the good news with their friends. Rabbit was in the meadow, busy with a shovel and pail. "What are you doing, Rabbit?" Mouse called. "Saving snow, while I still can," Rabbit grumbled. "We won't see any more of this until next year." "But spring is coming," Bird chirped. "Aren't you excited?" Mouse and Bird are really looking forward to spring. Rabbit's still wearing a scarf. And he's saving the snow. Rabbit also looks worried. I'm not so sure Rabbit likes spring. "Excited?" said Rabbit. "Huh, the thing about spring is that I won't be able to follow my friends' tracks in the snow. Then I won't be able to find them." "But now you won't be cold," said Bird. "And you won't have to look for me. I'll be right beside you." "Me too," said Mouse. "I like spring too because it's warm and everything turns green. What about you? What do you like about spring?" "The thing about spring," said Rabbit, "is that I won't be able to make snow bunnies anymore. I won't be able to build snow forts either. You know how much fun I have doing that. And I won't be able to make snowballs to throw at my favorite targets." "But little shoots will grow out of the ground," Mouse said, "so you won't have to look far to find delicious things to eat." Those things certainly do sound fun, and Rabbit is right, you can't do those things in spring. But it's true that it's easier for animals to find food when it's warmer out. "The thing about spring," said Rabbit, "is that Bear is waking up. You know how bad he smells at the end of a long winter? And I'm sure he's going to want a hug." "Oh, Rabbit," said Bear with a yawn. "Just because I'm a little stinky doesn't mean we can't share a big hug." "I want a hug too," said Bird. "Me 3, said Mouse. Rabbit sure does like to complain a lot. His friends just want to show him how much they like him. I bet your parents hug you too, even when you're stinky. "The thing about spring," said Rabbit, "is that it rains when you're not expecting it." "But rain brings out the flowers," said Mouse. "And the worms," said Bird. "And it makes you clean," said Bear. "And ready for more hugs." Rabbit sure has nice friends. They remind him about the good things that can happen in spring. "The thing about spring," said Rabbit, "is that when the days get longer, the nights get shorter. And I am a cranky bunny when I don't get enough sleep." "But in the spring, we need more daytime because there are so many things to do," said Bird. "Look, the sun is coming out. And the snow is going away. I hope Rabbit was able to save enough snow before it's all gone." In the spring, I love to make loop-de-loops and race the clouds through the sky, said Bird. In the spring, I love to nibble tasty buds and dig tunnels in the soft pine needles, said Mouse. In the spring, I love to splash in the lake and dance in the sun, said Bear. Spring is wonderful. I can't do loop-de-loops and I don't eat buds, but I can dig tunnels and splash and dance in the sun, can you? The thing about spring, said Rabbit, is that all the animals chatter on and the racket hurts my ears. I'll try to be more quiet, whispered Bird. Me too, whispered Mouse. Me three, whispered Bear. But it's hard not to make a little noise. When spring is here! Maybe Rabbit's ears are so sensitive because they are so big. That means that Rabbit can hear really well. All right, Rabbit sighed. I suppose no one can stop the seasons from changing, but the thing about spring is that when I stomp around so much and the sun is so warm, it makes me really thirsty. Rabbit has a good point there. I get thirsty too when I run around and play sports. Me too, said Bear. I think we're all a little thirsty. Well then, said Rabbit, you should be glad I saved some snow. Look inside my pail. The thing about spring is that it's full of surprises. Rabbit is finally smiling about spring. Do you remember what Rabbit put in the pail? If spring is full of surprises, what do you think is in there now? It's wonderful, Bird cheeped. Now that spring is here, the snow has turned to water. It's like the spring gave us a present before it went away, said Mouse. That's why Rabbit was saving snow, so that they could all have water when it's spring. That was very thoughtful. I found some cups, Rabbit said. Dip in, it'll be our last taste of winter. And our first sip of spring, said Bird. Here's to spring, said Bear. I think it's going to be great. Me too, said Bird. Me three, said Mouse. The friends looked at Rabbit. Oh, all right, he said. Me four. Spring is here. Hooray! The end. Spring is a wonderful time of year, especially if you like warm weather and flowers. What time of year is your favorite? Write your favorite season in the comments below and what you like about it most. To read other books, subscribe to this channel by clicking on the red subscribe button or by clicking on the 3 kids and then click on subscribe. This way you can always find this channel and listen to more stories. Keep reading and until next time on Miss Sophie's Storytime.